Hello, everyone, and welcome to the EduMatch Tweet and Talk number 3. Today, we're going to be talking about how we can just say no when there's too much on our plate. We all know it as educators, we want to be in that spirit of giving and helping whenever we can, but sometimes there's too much, and sometimes we just have to say no. So today, we're going to be talking about different strategies to do that. And as always, we have our all-star panel here. So, just going from my right to my left, we're going to start things off with Tara. So, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself.
Hi, my name is Tara Linney. I am currently in California on the way to Singapore in like 30 some odd days, and I'm a technology coach.
Awesome, Tara. Welcome back. Next, we have Tammy.
Hi, I'm Tammy. I teach game design and computer applications in rural North Florida.
All right, fantastic. Welcome back to the panel, Tammy. And also, we have another veteran here. We have Leslie. Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Leslie Fagin. I'm an instructional tech coach in Griffin, Georgia, which is about an hour south of Atlanta.
Fantastic, Leslie. We are so happy to have you back. And last but not least, we have our two newbies to the panel. So we're going to go ahead and start first with Derek, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Hey, Derek Larson. I'm a classroom teacher in St. George, Utah, which is the southwest corner of Utah, about 2 hours north of Las Vegas.
Fantastic, Derek. Welcome to the panel. We are very, very happy to have you. And definitely, last but not least, we have here Anne. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Hi, my name is, can you hear me? All right, hi, my name is Anne Manalo-Hussein. I'm a special education teacher, teach at Richmond Hill High School in Richmond Hill, Georgia, and it's a growing suburban community, and it's growing really fast over here. And I'm really excited to be here because I'm new at this.
Fantastic. We are so, so happy to have you. So thank you all so much for joining the panel. Wanted to give a huge shout out to everyone who is participating on the EduMatch hashtag on Twitter. We see you. I have my tweet deck open. So definitely seeing some EduMatch VIPs in the house, such as Rachel and Sandy. So hello, hello, hello. So remember to connect with us at edumatch.education. If you go on there and just fill out our Google form, then we will learn all about you and tweet things out to get you connected over a period of 24 hours when you are our EduMatch person of the day. So without any further ado, then we're going to go ahead and open up the floor. So would anyone like to start with a way that you have found that you can just say no and maximize your time to make it meaningful while still helping others? So I see Tara has unmuted herself. Go ahead, Tara.
Yes. So as a coach, you're relied on a lot to help a lot of people in a lot of different ways, right? But then, like, when you're working with some people that are more, like, intrinsically motivated to learn things on their own, and you can kind of help guide them, and then almost immediately they become an expert in, like, video or something like that, then when somebody else asks, instead of saying, oh, yeah, I can help you with that, if you refer them to the person like that, like you have supported a little bit to learn this tool and now they're an expert, then it creates this like collaborative community. So while I still said no, I also gave a solution.
That is fantastic, and that reminds me of the book, I believe 100 Days of Rejection, and I highly recommend that anyone check that book out. It's a fantastic read, but pretty much this guy went around for 100 different days or 100 different tasks that he wanted people to reject him for, and he learned a lot about the rejection process as well as how to reject people. And as you were saying, then one of his great strategies was to defer it to someone else who may be able to help them. And you brought up a great point with the trainer type mentality, where you can help one person learn how to do something, and that person can then be empowered to go ahead and spread that knowledge on to the rest of the staff. So great, great, great. Okay. Anyone else want to jump in with their thoughts? All right, Leslie.
I am the queen of saying yes, or actually in the past I've been the queen of saying yes. When I was still teaching, I was the swim coach, the debate team coach, the student council advisor, the announcer for the soccer team, and like 12 other things. And I taught. So I was always saying yes because I didn't want the kids to feel like there wasn't somebody to do stuff. For instance, the swim thing, I can't even swim, and I was the swim coach because the kids needed an advisor. I didn't want them to feel like they were missing out. But then I had to step back and say, am I doing them any good by not being able to give 100%? So when somebody comes to you and says, hey, can you do this for me? If it's not something that you can give 100% to and still feel good about the effort, because at the end of the day, it's your name that's out there, and that's when you have to say no, because you don't want people to think poorly of you. And that's something that I've had to work hard on in the last year, because I want people to think highly of me, so I have to put myself in the position of saying no more than I've said yes.
That is a fantastic point, Leslie. Yes, a lot of times when we spread ourselves too thin, then we can't give our best to any one particular thing. So that is a fantastic point. So I'm going to pass it off next to Tammy.
Um, things that I completely great, but one of the things I do try to keep everything in. When I, you know, it's very easy to pull out two, but I've got 3 things booked that I'm working on right now.
All right, Tammy, we lost you a little bit while you were talking, but we're going to come right back to you. So, Derek, we're going to have you go ahead and jump in, and then we'll come back to Tammy.
All right. Okay, perfect. I'm back on. Okay, so I read a lot of people online, and there's a guy that I read a lot online that I really enjoyed. His name's Patrick Rohn. And he actually has a thing where he says that saying no is actually saying yes to something else. And I think Leslie was kind of hitting on this, that if you say yes to everything, you can't do everything. You're going to eventually fall short. And his thing is actually that the default should be no. You should say no as a default, because in that way you can actually focus on the things that are truly the most important for you, and give yourself the best chance of success. And personally, that's actually a struggle of mine. I do a lot of different things, and that's something that I'm working on. I'm trying to work on that, have no default, and the more we can do that, the better we can give in other areas. So I will tweet out the link to that article specifically that he wrote about. It's from a book of his called Enough, and it was from September 29, 2011. So I'll put that I'll send that on Twitter.
All right, fantastic, Derek. Thank you so much for sharing that. So let's come back to Tammy.
Okay, is this any better now, Sarah?
I believe so.
Am I
It's still cutting out
okay.
a little bit.
So what I was saying, okay, not much I can do about that from this end, that point. I use a Google Calendar to keep track of my project, and so many running at one time. And so when I reach that limit, I say, well, I'm sorry, but my calendar is full. That I've already shared that information with. So I try to use Tara's train the trainer type of a thing, and then also push out that my calendar is full. If you can put it off until my calendar is full, then I'll be able to help you out a little bit more.
All right, fantastic, Tammy. Thank you so much. I see that we have 2 people who have just joined us. We have Vedic and we have John. So, Vedic, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Brandon Gabo. I work with EduMatch Ghana and also Northern Education Training in Ghana. I'm excited to join you and then also participate in the conversation about when do we say no. I'm more excited than seeing everybody on here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We are very, very happy to have you. And John, would you mind introducing yourself? All right, awesome, awesome. We are very, very happy to have you all here and on panel. So that is excellent. So Tammy was giving some great tips just now about using Google Calendar and using a shared Google Calendar, and that is a great trick of the trade to definitely, let people schedule you for their availability. One thing that I have found that has been very, very helpful has been to ask people to email me as opposed to just stopping me in the hallway for different things. So, okay, fantastic, fantastic. So, so do we have any other tips and tricks from the panel on ways to just say no? All right, Derek.
I'm gonna play off of that last little bit with the Google Calendar. I actually have a tip that can help with that. I use a service called You Can Book Me that ties into my Google Calendar, which allows people to kind of plug away and grab little time slots. I know that Google Calendar will do that natively, but I like this interface a little better because it gives me a separate page. It's a little easier to see, and I can select how long my time slots are if I want to use that. And I find that to be very, very helpful. So that's a great little tool called You Can Book Me.
That is a fantastic tool. That is a fantastic tool. I heard about that from a colleague of mine, and we started using that. Actually, the one that he mentioned was Simply Book Me. So so that is excellent. Yep, yep, definitely. So we have not yet heard tips from, I believe, Anne. So if you have any tips that you'd like to chime in on.
Just have a Can you hear me? All right. I just have just a couple tips. I took a Get Assertive course through the Savannah Technical College, and that helped me professionally. And I still struggle it sometimes between personal and professional. So I just remind myself it's just sometimes the simple things, and the simple things is just I just like with Tammy and a number of you said, just use a calendar or whatever works for you. You find a system that works, but you have to have a calendar, something written down. And I just think of my daughter. That's how I prioritize my schedule. It makes it easier for me to say no because my daughter's first in my life.
All right. Fantastic. Absolutely. And that
Thank you.
brings into play the work-life balance that we all have to deal with. That's definitely, something that we need to think about. So, great, great. Let me see. Have we heard yet from John about your strategies? Absolutely. And that is definitely something to keep in mind. We definitely have to keep the end goal in mind so that we know exactly where we're going and prioritizing. Fantastic. So, Leslie, do you have any tips for people learning to say no and take things off of their plate? I think you might still be muted.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
When you're trying to say no, and I'm from Georgia, and down south we like to be polite, and you don't want people to think that you're rude. Sometimes you do have to be rude when you're putting yourself first, because it's all about taking care of yourself at the end of the day. So just explain to the people, say, I can't do this because, and then I think they'll understand, because nobody wants a half-hearted attempt. So be polite, but be firm, and that'll take you a long way.
Absolutely. Those are some great tips right there. Be polite and be firm. That's definitely one takeaway in that 100 Days of Rejection book that I read, where the author was talking about ways to say no. So definitely he said to be polite and be firm as well. Also Rachel Rofe, definitely want to recommend her podcast as well. She's the one who inspired this topic. After hearing her podcast on this exact topic, then it was a very eye-opening experience for me. So I just wanted to go ahead and thank the panel for all of your fantastic insights, and thank you to everyone who participated on the EduMatch hashtag. Now this chat will be storified, and it will also be available as an iTunes podcast if you go to bit.ly/EduMatch podcast. Come back next week. Our topic will be a summer learning preview where we're going to do something really cool. We're going to have half of the guests will be talking about ISTE, and half of the guests will be talking about opportunities outside of ISTE. So definitely check the link on the EduMatch hashtag for next week's session and sign up early to become a panelist. Just go ahead and leave a comment on the Google Hangouts page. And speaking of ISTE, make sure that you join us at our EduMatch meetup on the 30th of June at 5:15 p.m. So information for that should be dropping right about now on the EduMatch hashtag. So keep it posted for that. So thank you again to everyone. Make sure to connect with us at edumatch.education. Sign up to be the featured person of the day. So thank you all so much. Panel, thank you for your time. And thank you to everyone who was following the hashtag. All right, have a great night, everybody. See you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Thank you.
Thank you.